Browns Shedeur Sanders lands on a negotiation list for Canadian Football League. Sanders was pegged to be a potential first-round pick, but the signal call fell all the way down to the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. What made his selection even more confusing is that the Browns had also drafted Oregon's Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. Now, the Browns have Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders to work out in training camp and preseason. The belief is that one veteran and 2 rookies will be retained, though there have been reports that the team plans to move into the regular season with all 4 quarterbacks. One of the biggest stories this offseason has been all about Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders. The son of Deion Sanders, Shedeur, made headlines before and after the 2025 NFL Draft. This is unheard of, especially when it comes to retaining 2 rookies. Sanders has been predicted to start in the 2025 season, but that might not be the case. Should Sanders become unhappy with his place on the depth chart, he might try his luck playing in the Canadian Football League. There have been multiple players who have gone to the CFL and have returned to the NFL. Former Miami Dolphins star pass rusher Cameron Wake is a good example. CFL also has a unique program where teams stake their negotiation claims on players should they travel up north to play in the CFL. Sanders has popped up on that list, and the Toronto Argonauts have been awarded the rights to Sanders if he were to ever play in the CFL. CFL writer Marshall Ferguson wrote about Sanders' negotiation rights in the league. This is the name on the list if you're going for cartoonishly loud and fun name recognition. You already know the story and the bloodlines, as Shedeur Sanders showed off million-dollar watches to opposing student sections while enjoying his visit to Colorado with legendary dad Deion. Can you image the buzz around Sanders to Toronto? I can't yet, but after falling all the way to the 5th round of the NFL Draft this year, never say never. Other notable names on the list are Max Duggan, Trey Lance, Ian Book, Diego Pavia, Chase Claypool, and Sidney Brown. Should any of these names want to continue their career in Canada, they would be assigned to the team that was awarded their negotiation rights. Shedeur Sanders stood in front of the mirror, the crisp winter air of Cleveland biting at the window behind him. Snow swirled outside like confetti, as if the city was still celebrating something no one had quite earned yet. A Browns hoodie hugged his shoulders, loose and comfortable, still unfamiliar, like a jersey you hadn't yet bled in. He adjusted his gold chain, one his father had given him, etched with the initials SS. Stay sharp, Deion had said when he handed it to him. Sharp on and off the field, especially when the lights aren't on you. But now, the lights were turning, and oddly enough, they weren't the stadium floodlights he was expecting. They were Northern Canadian even. The notification had come just hours earlier. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers had placed him on their CFL negotiation list. A procedural move, yes, but one that carried implications. In the world of professional football, especially for a young quarterback like Shedeur, birthed into celebrity, built on expectations, every move mattered. He laughed under his breath. Canada, huh? No one in the locker room had mentioned it yet. Maybe they didn't know, maybe they didn't care, or maybe they didn't believe he'd entertain the thought for even a second. But Shedeur, he did. The idea of playing in the CFL wasn't as far-fetched as it sounded. Sure, most saw it as a step down, a league with odd rules, bigger fields, only 3 downs, and cities where football came with frostbite. But Canada respected quarterbacks. And Shedeur had always wanted that more than the spotlight, more than the cameras, more than the family name. He wanted to play, really play, not sit behind some aging journeyman, not be a placeholder or a marketing tool. He wanted to lead. And in Cleveland, the path wasn't so clear. Yes, he had been drafted late, but drafted. Yes, the Browns saw potential, but potential was a dangerous thing in the NFL. Teams said they wanted to develop you, but they also wanted to win now. If you weren't the answer by October, you were just another trivia question by December. Things were changing, but it wasn't forever. And so what if Canada was the answer? That night, he called his father. Pop, he started. Deion Sanders, now Coach Prime, sounded like he was between flights. What's up, son? You hear about Winnipeg? A pause. Yeah, I heard. What do you think? Another pause. Longer this time. I think they don't put you on a list unless they see something. I also think the game's different up there. Cold, fast, wide. You ready for that? Shedeur nodded to himself. It might be. It's not about ego. It's about reps, about owning the huddle. You'll get your shot in Cleveland. Will I? There it was, the question hanging like steam in the air. In truth, Shedeur loved the game too much to ride pine. He respected the NFL grind, but he wasn't about to waste 2 years learning an offense just to get waived before Thanksgiving. Canada offered reps, leadership, reps again, and there he could refine his instincts, learn to throw on the move with only 3 downs to spare, read wider coverages, and run his own team. His former Colorado teammates were divided on the idea. "You're built for Sundays," Travis Hunter had texted. "Don't sell yourself short." But another former Buffalo, now bouncing between practice squads, offered something different. "Don't sit for someone else's dream. Go play. Write your own." And wasn't that what his father had always said? "You're not just my son. You're your own man." Shedeur stared out at the snowy city, where dog pound fans cursed the cold but loved their Browns like they were kin. He appreciated it, the loyalty, the blue-collar grit, but he couldn't help feeling like a visitor in his own jersey. In Winnipeg, he wouldn't be a legacy name. He'd be a quarterback with an opportunity. The CFL didn't care much for hype. They cared about what you did on the field. The fans there were diehard too, just with thicker jackets and stranger chants. And, as crazy as it sounded, maybe that's exactly what he needed. He imagined himself at IG Field, under the northern lights, calling plays to a frosty breath cloud, seeing a streaking receiver on the wider Canadian field, and launching a bomb that cut through the cold like a cannonball. Could he win there? Could he dominate? Maybe. But more importantly, he could grow.